In this tutorial, we're going to look at the pen tool, a common tool found in draw programs like Adobe Illustrator and freehand. It's also found in other graphics programs like Adobe InDesign and even in Photoshop, which is primarily a paint program. The tool is located in the toolbox. In fact, there are several tools in this palette of tools, including the pen tool itself, add anchor point tool, delete anchor point tool, and a convert anchor point tool. We'll be utilizing the pen tool in 3 exercises here, including drawing straight lines, curved lines called Bezier lines. Bezier lines are after a man named Pierre Bezier, who was a French auto designer back in the 1950s. We'll begin the exercise by drawing straight lines using the pen tool. For better performance and without accessing the toolbox on an ongoing basis, we're first going to select the direct selection tool followed by the pen tool. This allows us to switch between the two tools by simply using the command key to access the direct selection tool and then back to the pen tool. We'll begin by drawing 2 straight lines. So with the pen tool, I'm going to click in the little box next to A and then click once again in the box B. This sets 2 anchor points, one at the A area, one at the B, and draws a vector or line between the two. Now if I were to continue and draw from C to D over here, you'll notice that actually the line is extended from the second anchor point and creates a third one. Well, I'm going to use Command Z to undo this. And our shortcut that we switch between the direct selection tool and the pen tool using the command key allows me to click once on the pasteboard and deselect the line segment. Now I can go to C, click once, hold the Shift key down to constrain it to a vertical line, and click D to complete the line segment. Command click to deselect. You may have noticed as we began to draw with the pen tool, there was a little X next to the side of the icon for the pen. That indicated that we were beginning to draw with the tool. Other functions will be indicated with different kinds of graphical images as well. So let's move to the next exercise. And we'll begin by drawing the planter here with the pen tool. Notice the little X once again. I'm going to click to add the anchor point. Hold the Shift key down to keep it parallel. B, let go of the Shift key so we don't constrain the tool. Click on C, Shift key to once again constrain it to a parallel to the top line. And finally, when we move over the finished piece, you'll notice there's a little O or circle that pops up next to the pen tool. In this case, the function indicates that it's closing the line segments and creating a shape. Now once more, we're going to use the Shift key to constrain the pen tool use to, in this case, 45-degree angles to draw this zigzag. Click once on the A and notice the X next to it. Hold the Shift key to B, down to C, D, and E, and Control click to deselect the line. Next, we'll work on creating the branch. First, we need to select the line. So we're going to hold the Command key down, which gives us the direct selection tool. Click once on the line segment. Notice handles on either end. Let go of the Command key. We're back to the pen tool. Slide this over this X area, and if you look closely, you'll see a plus sign indicated next to the pen tool. That allows us to add an anchor point in that location. So we have an anchor point here, one at the other end, and we've actually added an anchor point in this fashion right here. back to the direct selection tool by holding down the Command key. We're going to grab that anchor point and drag it over to this area. So in fact, we have now 2 line segments with 3 anchor points. And to further demonstrate the variations of the tool and the little graphic that pops up to the right side of the pen tool, if I slide over the anchor point we just added, you'll notice there's now a minus that's next to the pen tool. When we click on that anchor point, it is removed and the line now falls back to its original state. For this last exercise using the pen tool to draw straight lines, we're also going to introduce another tool, the scissors. The scissors is located under the eraser tool. It allows us to cut lines in half. Once again, holding the Command key, I'm going to return to the direct selection tool to select this shape, let go, I'm back to the scissors tool, I click once on the line segment to cut the line, back to the Command tool, I grab this anchor point and drag it out to the side to this green dot. Selecting the pen tool, I can now continue the line and connect it to make a shape. When I hover over this anchor point, you'll notice a sloped line next to the pen tool. This indicates that I can continue the line at this point. So I click once on the anchor point and then to the following anchor point with the circle next to it, indicating that when I click, I close the shape and we're finished. Command, click to deselect the shape. We'll now turn our attention to creating curved, or better known as Bezier lines, using the pen tool. So I'm going to select this pre-drawn curve here to show you examples of the various aspects of it, including the anchor points, one here, one in the center, and one on the other end. And you'll notice as this is selected, there are lines that come out. These are known as handles. They allow us to modify the curved line segment between the anchor points by dragging out the length of the handle and the direction in which the handle is pointed. So I'm going to Command deselect and move over and create the curved line. Stop right there. Rather than just clicking to set anchor points to draw the line, which we did with the straight lines, we need to click and drag to indicate the direction in which the curved line segment is going to go. Next, we go to the next area where we want to set the anchor point and click and drag to create and manipulate the curved line segment between the anchor point. Going to the next area, I click and drag and modify the handle, move the handle to create the 2 curved sections that make up this curved line. Command click to deselect. On occasion, you need to redirect the angle in which the curved line segment is going to go. So as example, I'm going to click and drag, much like I did to create the example above. Now if I wish to have it go back in this direction rather than the direction that's been created above, so if I click here, it's going to make this regardless of how I work with the handles. Undo. I need to redirect the direction it's going. And to do that, I could go to the toolbox and grab the Convert Anchor Point tool, or simply hold down on the Option key, grab the end of the handle, and move it in the direction I wish that curved line segment to go. Now when I release and go back to the pen tool, I can create the curve that goes in the opposite direction that it normally would. This is similar to the example for the leaf here. So I'm going to use the Command key to select the curve. With the pen tool, I can click and drag out a handle to indicate the direction I want the next curve segment to go, and come and complete that shape in this fashion. The next exercise is working with this pre-drawn stem here and modifying its shape. So to do that, we're going to use the direct selection tool again by clicking, in this case, on this anchor point, which gives us both handles. And we're going to redirect the direction in which this curved line segment is. So once again, converting to the convert anchor point tool by holding down the Option key, we click and drag and pull this over to indicate that direction. Similarly, down at this anchor point, I'm going to click and drag out the handles to change and modify the two curved line segments. Command click to deselect. To culminate this section on drawing curved lines or Bezier lines using the pen tool, I'm going to illustrate this pair. So hang on and follow and note the techniques that were learned earlier in this section on how to draw curves, modify the path in which they take, and create this shape that looks like a pear. So I'm going to click here and drag in this direction. Click and drag in the next area setting the anchor points, and now with the Option key, redirect the handle, convert anchor point tool, let go and back to the pen tool. I click and drag to create this curved line segment, redirect that path once again, set another anchor point, redirect the path, set another anchor point, and from this section on, I can continue to set anchor points and create the curved line segments that make this shape that looks like a pear. And I end it by, you'll notice the 0 or circle next to the pen tool allows me to click and close the shape. Once again, coming back with the direct selection tool, I can modify the curves so that they are in the shape in which we wish to have them drawn. Command click to deselect, and we've drawn the pear. Students should now open the Shapes Illustrator file to practice the examples that were shown earlier in the tutorial by drawing straight and curved line segments using